right, here we are back at the sink with some penguins, with a stone, and this lovely POS. Actually, I'm being unfair here because I haven't shaved with it yet. It's a Titan. It's a Titan razor. Okay, everything's wet. Let me. I've been honing it for a while. That's why this is a 90-watt professional 1000. All right. You all know I sold my Choceras because they were splitting, cracking, crazing, all that. I've mentioned it a bunch of times, and it's like, you know, I have to rely on a stone. I can't go pulling a stone out of the tray and then finding, like, you know, catastrophic errors. It freaks me out. So I moved over to Shafton Pro Stones. I also have Shafton Glass Stones, and I buy other stones in between. I bought a Morahai. I have the 90-watt finishing 4K. I've had some others, you know, Fuji and Falcon. And anyway, so the thing with the Pro Stones, I don't want to get too deep into it. The professional replaced Chocera. Chocera only available now in Japan on bases. You can find them online. You can get them shipped here, but the market for them is Japan only, in theory. If you want the Pro Stones, you can get them here in the United States. I think they're exclusive to the USA. I don't think they're a Japanese market, and I don't know if they come on bases or not. I don't know. Anyway, so like I sealed mine, right? Now you can tell, you can see there, the shine, the light running through. Krylon, it's an acrylic, I think. Krylon clear. Just to keep water from soaking in. The problem, the way I understand it, with the cracking is caused by the magnesium oxide based binders, and they just don't have some sort of durability thing when it comes to getting wet or whatever. And some people say, oh, it's soaking, it's not soaking. Diehard fanboys are like, oh, it's, you know, user error. It's not user error. I mean, I've actually seen people open a brand new one and it came crazed and cracked. So it's something in their makeup causes a problem over time. And in as much as I don't want to pull out a stone and have to freak out over it, I like the stone. So I got another one. I got a 600 too. And that's also sealed, right? And I may get another one. I don't know. You can never have too many stones. Well, actually you can, because then it creates confusion, but whatever. These are going to live in the kitchen for a little while. So anyway, why am I out here? I'm out here honing today because I got this blade, right? This is a Titan. Specifically, let me see what it says on this blade. T.H-70. It says anti-corrosion. To me, anti-corrosion would suggest stainless, right? Stainless. I don't know if this is really stainless. In theory, when you buy this, they tell you this version. There are a couple of different Titan. You find them on Alibaba, by the way, and maybe some other places. Maybe they're on eBay. I don't know. Maybe they're on Amazon. I don't know. I got it on like Alibaba or whatever that site is. So they tell you the hardness is 70 Rockwell. And that's kind of why I bought it. Not because they said it on that site. It's because I've read people talking about these, and they're all like, oh, they're so hard to hone. They hold an edge forever, blah, 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 blah. You know, and I never believed it. I never believed it. I think people just read stuff on the internet and they buy into it, and then they run onto forums and they start talking about it. Oh, they told me this is, 70 Rockwell, so, it was really hard to hone. So it's because it's 70 Rockwell. Well, there's more to honing difficulties than just Rockwell hardness. There's wear resistance, and the two could be related, but maybe not. Anyway, so this arrives. So it comes with stuff. Let me show you. And by the way, you're like, oh, what is it, another gold dollar? Well, no and yes. Okay, so, but it's not a $5 razor. It's not a $5 gold dollar, okay? Gold dollar costs $5, maybe $10, depends on shipping. Anyway, you get a strap. You see it's emblazoned with their logo. That's nice. It has decent hardware. It has D-rings at the other end. It's two components. It feels like it's trying to be leather, but I don't think it's leather. and this is some kind of cloth thing, linen, whatever. But you know what? It feels serviceable. Okay. So if you're a beginner and you had this, you could do worse. It doesn't feel dangerous. I bought a cheap strop once on eBay. It came from China. It was like $5 delivered. It would literally ruin your razor. Okay. So I usually tell people don't buy that stuff. It comes with a strop paste that I'm going to throw away because I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll like translate the label. Very nice. And you open it up and it's got like some weird little block of stuff in here. And I don't know. It smells a little like it's got a solvent in it. I don't know what it is. Something tells me it's cerium oxide. I don't know why. My brain said, "Oh, is that cerium?" I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so you'll notice my naniwa here is getting a little dry, but it's not like drinking in water like it was when I started. I've been honing for a while. Sorry, no production, no extra lights, no nothing. I did put the mic on, but I was just honing this thing, and I went in the back to do a little work, and I came out and said, "You know what? Let me just throw up the camera." I like the homespun, you know, bare bones type of like, proletariat rock and roll, like let's just get it done thing sometimes. Trying to like, oh, what am I going to talk about? Screw that. And it comes with this nice box, the razor, right? And the latch was a little annoying, but it's got a little cutout and it's like a closed cell foam. So it's sturdy and it looks like it would actually be, reasonable to store your blade in there. So, this is kind of a nice thing. The clasp is so... It's the thing sometimes with this imported stuff. They could have just put like a cheaper clasp, like magnets would have been better, okay? I like the fact it's vented. It's made out of some kind of wood, Got it open. All right, so the hinges, you can see they're not like... it's like piano hinge, but it's working. It's serviceable. Okay, it's a functional little case. You don't get that with a gold dollar. You get a plastic sleeve. That's gonna cause things to rust. This is a little better. So delivered. Okay, this thing's like $74. Is it worth it? Oh hell no. That was the paste. I'm throwing it out. I have things to do that matter. This is not something that matters. And this is not $75 worth of blade. It's not. What I can tell you is why you would buy this instead of a gold dollar. The scales are 1,000% better in like the stability department. Like these scales will last a while. I think they're kind of gaudy looking. I think these bolsters on the end are hokey. But all in all, they're better. You can see there's no real wedge type of thing going on here. They just spread out. This is a spacer more than it is a wedge. So you're not getting that like bendiness in the scales that you kind of really want. They put pivot washers in, but they're ginormous, okay? The polish on the blade is pretty decent. The etch on the blade is pretty decent. There's some gems over here on the bottom, none on the top. The grind, right? Okay, the thing about gold dollars is, besides the crappy steel, and it is crappy, and I don't care who thinks what about that. The spines are too fat on those blades. The stabilizers in the shoulders are ridiculous. Edge thickness, grind-wise, toe to heel is usually all over the place. It's almost like you have to remake the razor when you get it. So people like grind down the spines to get a decent bevel angle, and then they take out the stabilizers and the heels and this and that. Now, I went in and ground this heel. I had to. It's not a stabilizer. It's actually, the shoulder. It's uneven on both sides, so it was causing a little bit of a problem, okay? Spine thickness is reasonably okay, consistent from toe to tang, but it's not really consistent. All right, so there was some variation upon the theme there. Same with blade width, okay? 19 point, like 7, 8, 9, something like that down here, and over 20 millimeters, I'm talking, up over here. Here's the thing though. You buy a gold dollar, they come in like 21, 22, sometimes 23-degree bevel angles, okay? This came in at like 16.8 as an average. I don't like stout bevels, okay? I like a narrow bevel, okay? Edge width matters. Edge width speaks to sharpness. People don't want to hear that. I'm sorry, it's math. It's the laws of physics. Go argue with like Sir Isaac fucking Newton for all I care. But thinner edge width is going to allow you to get the edge sharper, and that's what I shoot for. All right, comfort and style and preference, that's another story. Okay, my preference and style is get it so sharp that I don't have to spend 20 minutes prepping my face to shave. Okay, so what happened was when I got this, got it out, put it on the bench, got the calipers out, started checking stuff, looped everything. And I said, okay, well, what about this 70 Rockwell bullshit, right? So I said, if this really is like 70, right? So, like, where am I coming from? Here, I got to fix this. So I had this out. This is blue steel. I don't know if it's blue 2 or super. It's really freaking hard steel. Sharpening this is a bitch. It's a Code Diva, right? It's got a Magnolia handle. Kuroichi style, so it's not like really, really fancy, but it's a nice enough Japanese small. It's almost like a petty, but it's sold as a Code Diva. But to me, it's not a Diva because it's got double bevel, and so if it was a double bevel Diva, it would be what's that, a Yo Diva? So this would be a Yo Diva. Come on, that doesn't even like really exist. So. Ajikiri, I think, might be another name for these things. I don't know. Sometimes the names escape me. I buy by shape mostly, and that's how I bought this. So anyway, I don't know if you can see up here that the tip is broken. So I have the 600 out. I'm going to have to like bring this curve around, all right, and down, and then sweep this up, and then put my edge back on. And I'm not looking forward to it because the steel on this is freaking murder. It's probably up around 67, okay? It's really, really, really hard, okay? So I know what this is like. And I have other knives that are in that zone, right? So I got this out, right? And I know what this feels like on this stone. I know what grinding, I know what the relief factor is in taking steel material down, right? So I got this out, right? I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that this blade is not 70 Rockwell. And I don't think I ever expected that it would be. I said, well, maybe there's a possibility, but it's just one of those things, maybe, I don't know. It's like, so I've been working on this setup for a while with the sink bridge. Somebody noticed, there was a shop Paul shot me a message, was like, is that a marble sink bridge? They're very astute, very, very good look. No, it's not marble, it's granite. Same type of idea though. No flex, absolutely no flex, no rust, no moving parts, no whatever. I built up some rubber around here, so I have like a little drain thing and this and that. I don't want the water cascading up over the end onto the fixture. So it's a little bit of a kludge. And if I was going to make a new one, I would do it a little differently. Maybe. But, this is a broken side splash that I bought from like Home Depot. So here I am and I'm honing, and I'm not trying to kill this thing. So you see some swap, but you don't see a shit ton of it. I mean, it's a 90 Wild 1000. They're a lot finer than, like, say, the Shapton 1000. So there's that. And for me, it's an ideal stone for something like this because I want to sneak up on it. So after honing, I realized, you know what? I'm cutting into steel really fast. when I got this, I don't know what they did, but I think they sharpened them initially, like on a belt, a grinder or something. So I put on a stone and then I looped it and I see a double bevel and I can see theirs, I can see mine because I had the difference in striations. And my bevel is going to be steeper than theirs, which is a good thing. But theirs was like really freaking uneven, like really badly uneven. So what I think people might be doing is they're running into spending a lot of time on a stone, thinking, oh, it's because the blade is 70 Rockwell. No, you're spending a lot of time because the initial geometry is friggin' whacked, and no matter what, it takes time to like correct that. All that aside, the steel feels better on a stone than a gold law. I'm not really a fan of stainless for blades. I have yet to be, wowed by a stainless blade. And I've had a bunch, I've had those inoxes from Henkel's. I had a couple of Dovos and something else. Can't remember. Was it a Wappy? No, I forget. So that happens when you just go through so many razors and you get rid of stuff quickly. A lot of those experiences just kind of like become partial memories real quick. So let me take a piece of paper towel. Dunk it in my little thing over there and wipe this down. Pull my loop. Here's my sink loop. This is an old Schneider 4X. I'm sorry, I don't do the whole microscope imaging thing. I mean, once in a while, I'll post a photo like that, but not too often. I find that a lot of that stuff is just ego-driven bullshit. I have a great scope, and I use it, but I don't like showing the photos because I think it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like a little too aristocratic for what we're really doing here. I mean, all we're really doing is shaving. Yeah, I still kind of have the remains of the second bevel on this thing. This back side is like a friggin' nightmare. Well, it was. And there was no way it was going to come in with the existing heel. That's another thing. I had to grind the heel back. And I didn't do like showroom mint job. I just kind of like got the Dremel out and put a sanding drum on it and went to town because I was annoyed. So there's going to be a lot of work to try and get this to come around. And I really don't think it's worth it. I don't think this blade was worth $75. I don't think it's 70 Rockwell. I don't think the accessories justify anything. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get an edge on it. I'm going to shave with it. I'm going to tweak it around a couple of times. I'm going to put it through its paces, do it on synths, do it on naturals, try a synth paste thing, try a natural paste thing, and then eventually I'll probably just throw it out. It sounds terrible, right? But that's the way it goes around here. I don't, how much time? Time is money. How much time am I going to put into this thing? I'm already out like $75. I mean, it's worth it for the experience, I think, at some levels. Next time somebody in the forum starts telling me how great these razors are, I have actual hands-on experience to throw at them. I do have a little bit of chipping in the edge in a couple of places. Not bad chipping, but qualifies for microchipping, I believe. I think that's just the result of the original bevel being honed in with too coarse of an abrasive, and now I'm refining, and it's causing the intersection of the striations to fail. So I'm not worried. Another motivational factor for the getting this blade was actually having this stone, and because I haven't had one for a really long time, and I kind of wanted to like put it to an acid test. And for what it's worth, I'm really not doing like the, you know, basket case Sheffield wedge hour and 45 minutes grinding to find a bevel type of thing. I just don't have the need to do any of that. Been there, done that so many times. I'll probably do it again in the future, but I'm not doing it like every other week like I was for like a really long time. So those razors taught me how to set bevels. First you find the bevel, then you set the bevel. Sometimes with those razors, finding the bevel, it's a lot of grinding to get through the Swiss cheese. But there's no Swiss cheese on this baby. Anyway, so I'm not going to bore you with the rest of the process. It is what it is. So there's the blade, there's the T.H-70 Rockwell nonsense. I can't say I'd recommend buying one unless you're like me and you just want to put something through its paces and you want to find out for yourself. You guys just get out there, you know, do what you got to do with your families and your friends. Have some fun doing that at night. Get some zen. Get your stones out. Put some tunes on. Get some honing done. Get some good edges. Have some great shaves. Until next time, take care. Talk to you soon.